Welcome to the DJ Insider Podcast, sponsored by Amplified Events.
It's the only podcast where we break down insider information from our weddings, experiences, and advice from over 15 years in the wedding industry.
We're your hosts. I'm Mike Kane, owner of Amplified Events.
And I'm Chris Zart, general manager of Amplified Events.
Let's get into it.
All right, we back.
Howdy who.
Howdy who. Yes, so I don't even know what number this is. We might be in the 30s.
Maybe at this point, yeah.
It's out of control how much content we're laying down.
Like one per week? No, how about 2 per week? And then soon it's going to be 3 probably.
I guess. Last week we interviewed Mr. John Cruz, and he did a great job.
Nice.
It was a lot of fun. But welcome back. We're glad to have you back.
Yeah.
You were gone on a fishing expedition to
Up
the
in
north.
northern Michigan. Yeah, way up there, like 7.5 hour drive. But
Cleaned them out.
Yep.
No more fish up there. Sorry, guys.
It was gorgeous.
You're planning a trip? They took them all.
Yep. Sorry. Lake empty.
They're going to have to grow some more fish. So, but yeah. Did you have a wedding this weekend?
Yes, I just had one. And that was nice to just get back. Like, I basically got back from my trip and then boom, right into the wedding. So that was fun. But yeah, it was like gorgeous. Williams Orchard. So it's a little kind of indoor outdoor there. But and it was a little warm, but like once the sun set, it just felt perfect. And yeah, like 120 guests, kind of like medium-sized wedding, and just like solid floor all night. And
you got history over there. You did one there last year. And it was gorgeous. Did they do long table in the orchard again?
No. So this one, that one was. I was by myself. It was a big equipment setup because they decided to, in between the apple orchard, like the rows of apples, they put like a bunch of tables, like in a long row.
100 people sitting on a long table.
It was pretty.
Right?
The only thing I was like worried about was I noticed like it was just going into fall, all the apples were kind of falling off, and wasps were kind of starting to show up. So there's like a lot of wasps. But like during ceremony, I was like, oh man, the whole time.
The wasps are firmly in control. You make an announcement.
Yep.
Do not agitate the wasps. We are in talks right now.
Yes.
To talk them down.
But it was really pretty, but that's the reason why they did that is because they had like over 200 people. That indoor space, I'm not sure if
wasn't
they can hit
large
that number,
enough to.
But
okay, that makes more sense. That was absolutely gorgeous, and I was like, oh, what a cool idea. That's going to create some sound issues for us, like where we're setting up and stuff.
I had to run multiple speakers on a separate setup and keep a microphone up there because that's where we did speeches and everything. So, I had my main reception set up, but I had this other one where I just ran like 3 speakers on
the
stands.
King's Feast, the table of champions.
It was tricky, but it sounded good. So, yeah.
It looked great. You got some great footage from that. And so what was your party like this past week?
Oh, no, it was really nice. Definitely easier having it all like in that indoor location. Just one setup was great. Last time too, we lost power, like it cut out. There's just like a bunch of things that we kept having to improvise. Nothing like we could control. This is like stuff we've talked about of when things generally do go wrong. It's just stuff out of our control, and it's just adapting to those things afterwards. But it was really nice. Like I said, once the sun went down, it just felt really good having like a breeze coming through there. Gorgeous day, and they gave me a lot of music, and then they sent me like their guest requests, so I mainly stuck to that. And
nice.
Pretty much everybody got to hear. You could kind of tell, like, it was this flow back and forth of like certain people would come out, then a different group would come out because they're like, oh, this is my song. So it was hard to like, do something wrong basically. They gave me everything I needed. So did you have a show over the weekend or?
We did. Mine was at the beautiful Dunes Pavilion.
Still haven't been there yet.
Right on the beach. Oh my goodness. I can't talk about enough about how gorgeous it is. I got to enjoy a sunset. Like we did dinner, and it was kind of like help yourself buffet style on both sides. They had kind of food stations. But Cade and I went out. We're like, let's enjoy this sunset.
Is there like an outdoor seating there or something?
Yeah, there's an outdoor like balcony where you can kind of like for a cocktail or whatever, you can kind of sneak away, smoke, grab a drink, whatever, hang out outside. And we got there early, and working with Tyler and his team, outstanding. Like easy load in, gorgeous venue. What they've done with it looks like a modern, but like giving homage to like the 1920s and just the beautiful nature of the national and state park of the dunes. And they have it's a restaurant, wedding venue space on the second floor, and then a rooftop restaurant for adults only, drinkers only on the rooftop.
I didn't know that. I thought it was just wedding venue.
Kids, you got to stay on the first or second floor. But they have elevators that you walk in. It's perfect kind of centric elevators are the centric layout, and then you kind of go in either side around the elevators to the venue, and it's absolutely outstanding what they've done with it. Jason, his team were incredible. They did the food. It was, chef's kiss. It was so good.
That's awesome.
The couple, I don't know if it was their first marriage, second marriage, but they were super chill. Like they're kind of like, it was just very, they gave me like a list of like jazz stuff for a cocktail. Just a quick kind of ceremony after an hour of cocktail. Like a friend married them, and they just kind of like, you love you and you love you and you want to be married. Yes. It was that kind of thing. And then a quick speech from father of the bride after that. And then dinner and then like dancing. They, again, very kind of more particular about music taste. I didn't play anything that was recorded after 1995. So everything was throwbacks.
Nice.
And or like
That's rare. That you
a
can
lot of
just do that.
60s, 70s, 80s. A couple of 50s, but almost in a few 90s, but very few, and early 90s. But I really enjoyed it. I was not sure what it was going to be like. But this couple, because sometimes couples tell you, like, yeah, we just want this. And we're like, okay, so you just want, all Halloween themed songs at your wedding for dancing? People were going to dance? Yeah, we want a raging dance floor, and we just want Halloween themed songs. And I'm like, okay. So I wasn't sure, because sometimes couples don't really, they're like, we're chill, we don't really care. But then you find that they do care later when people aren't dancing to their specific tastes that you knew probably wasn't. But this couple was really, they really were chill. They really did know this is what we want. And, we're fine if that doesn't work. But this is what we want, and it's okay. And I found a way in those kind of parameters to like make it work with the guests. And everybody danced, had a great time. We got a great floor going. There was a lot of moments. I was like kind of teaching Cade, one of our newer guys. I was like, did they request this song? He's like, no. I'm like, I know. This wasn't on their list, but look how much it's hitting. But I was like, it fits the genre, the general vibe, what they're going for.
Yep.
They gave us a lot of stuff. And some of that stuff was working, some of it didn't. And there was time for some of those, but they just kind of threw a lot of stuff at me at the last second. Like literally, like the week of, I was like, do you have music? You want some of the music? And they finally gave me the music. But it all works out. They gave me the don't plays that morning.
Yeah.
And the don't plays were anything that is typically popular at a wedding, like pretty much no boy bands, no hip hop, no country, no 90s, beyond like really.
So going in, were you a little nervous?
I was a little nervous what it was going to be like.
Yeah.
Because it was like, it's kind of like a jazz social, a jazz cocktail, I don't know if people dance, but they did give me some like classics. They gave me some Motown stuff. I mean, a lot of good stuff. They have excellent taste in music, in my opinion, but that doesn't always align with what guests are dancing to. But we found a way to kind of work it. Song of the night was Madonna's Holiday. But we had a lot of good stuff. Like, I mean, we were hitting with like Aretha Franklin, Gloria Gaynor, Earth, Wind, and Fire. I mean, it was just some fun.
That's kind of like it's not going to go the way you think, but it might go the way you think.
Oh my gosh,
actually.
it did.
And it did.
Yeah. Photographers were there for like 2 or 3 hours, and they were kind of like, are there any moments? I go, no, there are no moments. We did the moments. There's no first dance. They kept like, is there a surprise first dance? I'm like, there's not that I'm aware of.
So that were they kind of a little more non-traditional? It sounded like just keep everything really simple.
We love each other. We want a nice party with our family and friends. We like this kind of taste in music. Please keep it to kind of that. And this is the stuff we want to avoid.
Right.
And we just want a fun thing. And that's what we did. And it was phenomenal. It went really, really well. I was just blown away at the ease of the nature of the load in, load out, how beautiful and how delicious the food was. And then you had this gorgeous sun with the beach there. It was pretty cool.
That view's got to be nice. Yeah.
And dude, we were throwing such a great party that we had wedding crashers.
Oh, people are just showing up.
People from the rooftop bar, people from the downstairs, they were coming in. And I knew it because they're not dressed for a wedding. It's pretty obvious, right? If you're going to crash, you got to dress the part, right? But they're coming in with like shorts and beach gear and big beach hats and, And they came up and they're like, "Oh, can you play some Britney? The bride really wants some Britney." And I go, "Well, that's really funny because I talked to the bride and she specifically said to not play that kind of stuff." And I go, "Are you guys crashers?" And they were like, "Oh," yeah, they were like busted, like, "You crashers?" And they're like, "Well, we talked to the bride. She said it's okay that we crash." I was like, "Crashers?" I was treating it like I was a dean in like a frat movie.
Yeah.
And that was like that one fraternity was like really giving, sticking the screws to me. And I was like, "We'll get there."
nerds.
Yes, yeah. You nerds will pay, you crashers. I had a real fun time with that.
That's funny.
But I did not play Britney. So sorry. Next time.
By the way, I feel like the only reason why I don't crash weddings is because I would just get recognized by too many of the venues. It's so honestly, I'm not saying
You working tonight? What's up?
This is not like a PSA of like you should crash weddings or you shouldn't, but it's really easy to. If you dress the part, show up after dinner.
Yeah. Blend in.
Pretty
Don't
much
make a
walk
fuss.
right in.
Don't make a lot of requests. Don't make a scene. They were already drunk and they heard the party we were rocking, and we were rocking a pretty good party at that point. So it's kind of an honor too. The crashers want to crash because it's like, yo, this is cool.
They could have just gone home. Yeah.
There's no crashers are always looking for, they're sniffing it out. Is there a party here? They could hear it and smell it.
I'm wondering now how many weddings I've done that there were people there that crashed and I had no idea because I've never really thought about it too hard, but there's probably a good amount, I'm sure.
I wouldn't be surprised, but it's. I'm always looking for that because I like to call them out.
Right.
I want to be like the To Catch a Predator, but To Catch a Crasher. Go ahead, sit down. Bring them in. No, go ahead, have a seat. So you're crashing this wedding, right?
Yeah, we saw you. We got you on camera walking in the building.
No, I was invited. Oh, do you have your invitation on you? We didn't see you on the guest
What's
list.
your name? Can I look at the
I've
guest
memorized
list
the guest
there?
list. What's your name? No, it is fun. It was a really good time.
You were talking to Selena. You thought she was a wedding guest.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
saying, inviting you. No. I can keep it going.
But yeah, the food was just outstanding. It was incredible. Jason and his team killed it, of course. Do you have any favorite wedding food or after snack hours, hors d'oeuvres, appetizers? And I'm going to go ahead and say desserts, apps and desserts. What are your favorites that you like to see when you're like, ooh, yummy?
Sorry, just in general, are we starting with apps?
What?
Okay.
So let's do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Let's do like cocktail hour apps, hors d'oeuvres.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, chicken and waffles. That's been like a big late night snack, and that was at the Lure. They do that,
Oh yeah.
and we got that for
Market
our wedding. But
used to kill those. Those were.
oh, they did do that.
Oh,
yeah,
they had like a spicy grilled chicken with.
Yep. They also, I think, because my buddy, worked there. I'm pretty sure they made their own rolls too at the market. So like the bread was always really good, which is like not something you think about too much. But I've had a lot of like rocks basically.
Yes.
They're like super hard and dry bread.
Dude, crostini's you go it's teeny. It's go small, go light on the crust part.
That's
want it chewable, not
you're
crunchable.
You're a soft crostini
I'm a
guy.
soft
I'm
crust-
a crunchy.
You're a hard guy?
Yeah.
I knew it. Can't podcast together anymore.
Sorry, that's it.
I'm a soft crostini guy. You're a hard.
I like the
crunch.
crunchy. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, they had bruschetta.
Bruschetta is always good. I'm not a big tomato guy usually, so like just the acidity. I'm just not. I don't seek after it. But like, yeah, chicken and waffles. What about you?
I love a good. What are those? It's like tomato, mozzarella, basil, balsamic, but they do them on skewers. There's a type of salad that is called.
There's a name for that. It'll come to me.
There's a name that'll
eventually.
come, but you guys know what I'm talking about. You guys are home screaming, "It's this!" But yeah, I love those. Like a good skewer of that because you get a little of everything there. I love a good meatball. They had meatballs at the wedding.
Especially with like a good sauce, like a sweeter sauce.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When sometimes they'll do like the shrimp cocktail with a little dipping.
Mm-hmm.
Any kind of little dips are always delicious and good. I don't know, it just depends. What about like main course? What's your favorite kind of entree?
If they can do it well,
Let's say that they are.
then like a fillet goes every time. Like goes hard every time.
We had some phenomenal fillets, and they had my favorite would be the horseradish sauce.
Oh yeah, well I guess going off of that prime rib,
Yes.
if you can do prime rib right, then it's like it's good. Because I feel like I don't know, prime rib was a big like you had a wedding in like the 70s and it was like a kind of crappy wedding. Like you had prime rib and they probably weren't doing it that good. I feel like it's developed this weird like Is it like something I want to go after? For me though, yeah, it's every time.
The chicken was moist
Mm.
at the wedding, and I knew that would please you.
Yeah, well, that's rare for
Yeah.
like because when you're doing like chicken breast, it's really easy to overcook.
It's hard to do. It's hard. It's easy to overcook. It's
and
hard
you're
to,
cooking for 200 people.
Yeah.
You know,
This wedding did it right. They didn't individually serve. They did it in like big like warming stuff. So they mass cooked it, and threw it in there. And you just serve yourself, and it's good to go.
oh, just like buffet. Or-
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. But help yourself.
I think that's the way to go.
It was really the way to go. The
Unless
best
you
quality
have a
food.
really big team that can like commit to getting plated food out really quick and
Yeah.
hot and everything's done well, then like great. But most kitchens at venues I've seen are usually a smaller kitchen and it's just easier. You can work ahead of time. Yeah.
My last one they did last weekend prior was Mission Barbecue, and they had a buffet too, and it was just outstanding, just delicious,
That's
fresh
awesome.
barbecue, everything.
Buffet for us too is so great, and also any other vendor, because there's so many times, and it shocked me that like venues will feed us last for some reason
Yeah.
when we need to get to work right away.
Yes.
So I love when I can eat quickly, like at least hopefully not quickly. I don't have to rush or whatever. But when I'm fed last, and I'm like, oh, I got 5 minutes,
Yes,
like
yeah.
time to go. That's like buffet. I can just walk up and grab food.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
All right, let's talk desserts.
Okay, yeah.
What will you get
Ooh.
down with?
I am not a big cake guy, but that's a really good question. I mean, I like donuts, donut walls.
I'll
I
get
can always
goofy.
get down
I'll get
with
goofy with some donuts. Yeah,
because you usually have a good selection, good variety, and yeah, I'm not big on cake or cupcakes or anything. But yeah,
I love a
donuts.
good cake, but it's got to be moist. It's got to be delicious. The frosting's got to be outstanding. You can save the fruit. I'm not a fruit guy. Keep that to yourself. Keep that at home.
Yeah.
Cheesecake when it's done well. Yeah, it just depends. Baked goods, maybe a cookie here or there, or a brownie, or sometimes they do like little. I like kind of a little dessert where you can kind of pick and.
There was one, so I'm like obsessed with Oreos. Like I love Oreos so much, and they had literally like an entire 6-foot table that was like half of it was like a 4-ounce cup of milk, and then like the lip of the cup was like smaller than the Oreo, so they had like 3 Oreos stacked on top, and it was just like you just grab.
That's so
And I just
cool.
kept grabbing it because they were right next to my DJ setup, and it was I just like okay, and it was an outdoor wedding, nobody was grabbing them, so I just kept down in Oreos.
Late night snack.
I mean, yeah, I probably said chicken and waffles, and that's probably still the same one. But yeah, chicken and waffles is great.
Dude, in this-
Pizza, like
Oh yeah.
good pizza,
Yes.
especially oh man, what's the venue? They're a newer one. Oh, White Oak in Michigan City. They have like these outdoor wood fire pizza
yes,
ovens.
yes.
And I've seen people do it for dinner, but usually like you can, I think, probably add it onto your package, and it's just late night snack. And they like outside are making the pizza, which is cool. They're doing it on site there, and so that's fun. But
I love people do late night either like nacho taco bar. Those are great. But I really enjoy and live for when they have a late night Chicago style hot dog bar
ooh,
or hot dog bar.
yeah.
Especially the ones it's like Super Dog, I think is the name of the company.
Mm-hmm.
And they do it out of Chicago a lot. When they were like, I'm like, there's like 300 hot dogs in this room right now. I'm gonna get weird.
Yeah.
It's so
You're
good.
gonna get weird with it.
I'm gonna get weird with it. on
Going
those
off of that,
dogs.
sliders.
Dude.
So Walden, I think the last time we were there, it's been a moment since I've been there, but I feel like we were there together last time, and they had like 3 different types of sliders. Like one was like a super oniony one was like just really cheesy. Like it was delicious.
I've been a slider guy lately. I've been I'm like a burger seems like a lot. I'm like, do you have sliders? And like we do. How about a little burger?
Yeah, like I'll eat 5 of them, and they're like, that was 2.5
Like
burgers,
the mini muffins?
sir. Yeah. Well, it's just you don't feel as bad. It's like, oh, big burger, like that's a commitment,
Yes,
but
yeah.
5 sliders.
I'm not it for that. I love it.
Oh, can I go off of that a little bit?
Yeah.
What is your favorite place to go to after weddings? Because when we're done, it's pretty late and the selection's a little limited. But I love I've been hit up so much food after work lately. It's not really good, but
I've been making more of my own at home because we've been just on a budget. But
nice.
Taco Bell, I'll get goofy on some Taco Bell.
I've been hard on Taco Bell lately. Yeah.
If we're in the city, I mean, if there's a McDonald's open or like a White Castle or something like that, it's tough. It's tough after hours. You
I'm
know,
always hungry after my weddings.
a lot of
usually.
gas stations. Yeah, it's tough. We always talk about like, oh, these things couples annoy us, or venues or vendors. What do you think are the things that DJs do that annoy other people? The things we do. Like, let's have a little some insight.
Uh, I think this is a mutual one because we don't want to do it, but make announcements on the
Oh.
dance floor. I've had people that are literally like okay, like, and usually I do it kind of like at the instrumental start of the song, so I have some background noise, so it's not just in between songs, and I can kind of fade down. But it's like no one's happy to hear it usually. Sometimes there's a few people that are like late night snack. But
Yeah. I know you guys are having a great time, but there's a shuttle to take you home right outside. You can get a warm milk and have a nap.
Yep.
Would you like to go home to that?
That's
right
why I
now?
usually I'm like, you're lame if you leave.
It's 9:30.
But
Would you like to be in sleep mode right now?
some people would, I guess.
I think DJs are really loud. I think our music, I mean, let's just face it, if you around loud stuff enough, you start to lose some of your hearing.
Mm.
And I'm worried that that's the case with me at some point.
Oh yeah, I need to get earplugs. It's
and
not
so-
really great.
Uh, and so I had an assistant kind of tell me like, yeah, I think you've lost some hearing. And I was like, ooh. So yeah, I think we're really loud and people don't always tell us that. And it hurts or they don't like how loud it is or how it sounds. I think that probably annoys other people that we do that.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah, making the announcements. When I've been interviewing people, most of the time they're talk about the DJ gets just wasted and is sloppy and it like messes up. Like they're playing the wrong song, they're messing up the intros. It's noticeably bad.
Yeah.
Where it ruins the wedding in a way. We had Steve from Region Weddings on the podcast last week, and he had this great story. You'll have to listen. It's fantastic. About this crazy experience he had with the DJ, where the ambulance got called 3 times to the wedding.
Oh.
So I'll let you listen. It's fun.
Wow.
So yeah, I think that's the kind of thing. It's kind of a weird thing because what you want in DJs is like a big energy, big personality, and lots of music and lots of let's party. People want that in a DJ because it gives them permission to have fun. If the DJ is quiet and like, if you guys want to dance, it's okay. If not, no big deal. I'm just saying. Like if the DJ is on the mic and is behaving in a way and playing songs in a way where it makes you feel uncomfortable, you're less likely to take the social risk to go out there and dance. Mm-hmm. But if the DJ's like, we're having the best time ever on this dance floor, and everyone else is lame if you're not out here. Like you make it the cool thing to be out there dancing, having fun. It lets you to get out of your head for a moment and let loose. So it's that kind of double-edged sword. They want you to be big and to have a good time, but they also don't want you to be so big that it detracts from the wedding, that you're partying too hard where people can't enjoy themselves and have fun.
I think that's like our entire job is just having a lot of energy and wanting people to match the same energy that we put out there, but also not like having a big ego at the same time. Like, we're happy to be there. We're like, we want to have a good time, but we're not going to make it about us.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of having that balance of like, confidence in yourself, having that high energy, but yeah, not being too much. I feel that.
I think also because of that ego that like, I'm the one who's throwing the dance party, not you. You are my dancers, my loyal subjects of dancers. I think that ego, it attaches to itself to some DJs. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the other thing that annoys people about is the ego. They come in, I'm the only person that's important here. I'm big, I'm important, and no one else is going to have fun until I'm ready to have fun. Mm-hmm. And you work for me. You over there, I think that's DJs, I assume, can be demanding and egotistical and arrogant. And that's got to be really annoying.
Yeah.
For other vendors to work with. Or I know we have a set schedule, but I'm going to do my thing. Because you got DJ Request here. We're doing my deal. Because I'm cool. They hired me because I'm cool. And so we're going to do it the cool way. And even ignoring all the other venues, what they want, ignoring the vendors, ignoring the time of the night that you're ending. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so many things that like, as a DJ, you're kind of plugged into lots of different elements where if you do something different or you do something too hard or do something extra, it's going to have an effect on the day, on the timeline. You're kind of in charge of that and keeping that flowing.
Yeah.
And if you're not really incorporating and listening to your other people you're working with, that is going to affect the wedding in a negative way. It's going to have a lasting negative impression on the other vendors and the venue. And it's not going to go the way you think.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's something that I get relieved on that can kind of kill my, because I've been doing this for a long time, but I get stressed and anxious for every wedding that I do because you're in front of people. I get butterflies every time, but it's just because I care. I want to do a good job, you know. But to take away from that stress, I really just try and focus on like, these people are not going to see me again, but the vendors, the venue that I'm working with, they are going to see me again. So I want to make sure that I am coming back and they're happy that I'm back. Yeah. Like there are, talking to like Natalie at the Allure, like some of the DJs that she's told us about that she's had to deal with. Sometimes I show up, Dave, and she's like, Chris, I am so happy that you're here. I'm so happy that you guys are here. And that's a good feeling, knowing that we actually want to be, worked with.
You want people to light up when you come into a room. They're glad that your presence. Oh, I'm glad you're here.
And it's funny that the bar is this low, but just happy that we're not going to screw it up, that we're not going to cause the venue and the other vendors stress. Yeah. From just not paying attention, whatever, doing anything to screw them over. So
what are the things that families do? Families are guests. We'll leave the requests out of it.
Okay.
Because we talk about that a lot, but that annoy DJs.
Yeah, I had this was my wedding over the weekend, and we had a good amount of speeches, but they did a good job on like having a good length for all of them. So, we finished that. I think it was timed right at the end of dinner. And then we went into, parent dances, first dance floor's open, nothing after that. And I'm going like probably 45 minutes into the dance floor. And this random guy comes up to me and he's like, hey, I'm giving a speech. And I was like, who are you, by the way? And then he's like, I'm the uncle. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, let me get back to you on that. And he's like, huh? And he's like, oh, I thought this was just gonna happen, and I was like, no. So then the coordinator I was working with, and she was awesome. But I kind of relayed that, and she's like, no. She was like, no, that's not happening. So she like talked to him, and it was no big deal. He didn't bother me, luckily, after that. But I was like, okay, I'm wondering if I'm gonna hear this again. But it was just so funny of like no introduction and not asking a question, just hello.
You've probably heard of me.
I'm giving a speech.
Yeah, I'm giving a TED Talk tonight.
So anything that, obviously everything is pretty loose and like you can do whatever you want on your wedding day, but we do have like a schedule still of getting everything done. Once that schedule's complete though, and the dance floor is hit, we try and not do anything else, especially like I was mentioning, I want to keep the music going. I don't want to stop everything for one thing, and that was something that could have been communicated ahead of time, planned, but.
I had a couple last week in a planning session ask me like, what advice do you have? And I was like, haha. I was like, you should listen to our podcast. But I was like, let the party be the party. Like once we get dancing going, just let it be dancing. Let's not interrupt it with family photos. Like that annoys me. It was like, oh, can the correliers, whatever. It's annoying. And it ruins the dance floor and it kills energy. And after the people take the photo, they're like, okay, I can go home. It's the weirdest thing. I don't like it. It annoys me. I don't like you said, when people surprise speeches, or it's so-and-so celebrating their anniversary, or so-and-so is having a birthday tonight. This guy just graduated from veterinarian school. Can it just be about the couple and about celebrating and partying to their love? Like, can it just be about that? Like, does it have to, we have to, this person has a birthday and this person has a birthday and this person just graduated. Let it be I know it's a big thing because the families are there and it's a big event. But as a DJ, I'm just annoyed when I have to detract from things that aren't the goal. The goal being we want to create this atmosphere of celebration of this specific thing.
Yep.
Anything else is a detraction from that. It puts us off our goal.
Yeah.
So
and it definitely impacts. I mean, I just did a wedding recently that was like there was something like that per hour, and it was a killer night. But there was so many lulls for a good 10 minutes. Every hour there was 10 minutes the dance floor died, and then I had to gain him back again, and then it died, and then I had to gain it, and it was just like this constant back and forth. We would have had him out there the entire night, 100%. Which is no big deal, but
there's a limited amount of time, limited amount of songs. That means that you can play to get, and you want everyone to be a rager. And if people are like, yeah, well, we're doing a buffet, a late night buffet, and if you could announce that, and then we're doing also there's a shuttle service that's going on all night. They can just every 15 minutes they can go outside. It's every 15 minutes, just make a quick announcement.
I had a couple recently that did a really smart move though. They didn't want pictures with people throughout the night. They're like, once with dancing's going, we want to just hang out. I'm like, great. So they planned on big group photo right when we kicked off the dance floor. Everybody, literally every person at the wedding on the floor, one photo, and then they're like, I can't remember what song it was, but it's a really like good starting song for a dance floor, and they're like, this is perfect. Then everybody's out there and they have to dance, or they can leave, but whatever, they're there.
Yeah.
So hopefully it gets going, and it got going. And then they also were like, no announcements for snacks, whatever, like anything throughout the night. We have things going on, but like don't talk about it. We just want music. I'm like, yes, like finally, this is fantastic. So yeah, and from there it was literally 200 people on the floor. We lost 50, 150 stayed. And then it was like that from beginning to end, which was great. But I was like, you guys are ahead of the game. You're doing it right.
Yes. I love when people have that level of foresight and planning and things they've noticed that annoy them or frustrate them about other weddings, and we're going to do it differently. And they're like, they've learned lessons, and that's what we want.
Yep.
That's exactly what we want. You want it to go off. You want it to be so epic that you're creating a memory of how much fun you're having. And you can't do that if you're being constantly distracted to do something else and do something else. It's really hard. You have to plan for a moment, and you have to have people who are good at making moments, but you also have to just let the moment happen. If you put too many planning details, my friends and I, we were in college. We were obsessed with this idea because our friends are always engineers. They were obsessed with this idea of planning the perfect party. That like, what factors and details need to go into play. And I realize now that this was early, like, preparing me for the career I would have later as a wedding DJ. And we discovered that for a party to be epic, you have to have some structure, some plan. People have to know the party's going to be happening at this time. Please come. Then there's going to be this and this. There's got to be some timeline. There's got to be some plan. You have to have food. You have to have drink. You have to ideally have decorations or a theme or something that makes it fun and beautiful and unique.
Yeah.
A unique experience that you can deliver. But you have to have all those things in place, ready to go. And then you have to just open it up for spontaneity. The best parties have elements of, yep, we're on a strict timeline, but like we're going to throw that out. Think about your vacations. The best vacations, of course, you're like, we're going to do this event and we're going to check out this historical thing, but then we're going to relax by the pool, and then maybe we're going to hit late night karaoke, or there's a trivia night, or we got to check out this taco place somebody was talking about.
The right amount of planning.
There's got to be adventure and surprise, and you got to be able to get to that adventure through planning and preparation. And if you have no preparation and you show up and nobody has food or drink, like how you're going to have fun. So there's got to be some element to that. That's really important. And we're always bouncing that. But I think it's so fascinating that those pieces of planning the perfect party also come into play with planning the perfect wedding party. And that's why we offer that free thing when couples reach out to us of like, here's 10 things to help you plan the perfect party. Piece of advices that we've had from years in the industry that, hey, do these things that will help. Those are the little elements that we've learned that will help you curate and plan for a good time.
Right.
But to me, I've always keyed in on that plan it all out, and then day of, really relax and enjoy. That's a crucial element that a lot of people forget. No. Are we doing bouquets still? Are we dollar dance? Do the guests know that they need to sign the guest book? There's a lot of anxiety and energy and planning, of course, that goes into it. But the best weddings that have the most fun are cool with whatever.
Yeah.
When it happens.
And it is, I feel like you kind of have to have sometimes the right personality to make it happen. Or even if you don't, just think about how like you'd want it to go. But, there's people that are so plan, structure that like day of, that's all they're focused on. There's people that are so loosey-goosey, kind of like you're mentioning that.
Whatever you want, man. I'm like, it's not my wedding, man.
Then,
it's not my party.
We got to know what's going on still. So,
Yeah.
if you can like kind of come together in the middle, then you have the perfect balance of just putting something down on paper, but then day of just relax and
give us what you like. Give us what you don't like. Give us a rough timeline of what you want to happen when. We'll help you with that. That's kind of what we do as DJs, to help you flow all those. You want all these things to happen. Let me tell you the best order to do that in.
Yeah.
For the best flow, because we're always planning on the back end for the party. the things that stress me out the most are not the thing they're hiring us for. The things that stress me out
That's what
the
we're
most.
excited to get to.
Yes. Yeah. The things that stress me out, it's all the things that go wrong before we're even ready to do the thing they're hiring us for. Do the mics sound good? Do people use the microphone correctly for the speeches? Did I cue up the right song at the right time for when they're walking down the aisle and for the entrances? Did I get everybody's names pronounced correctly?
Time during the day that you actually have every person at the wedding focused on what's going on.
Yeah.
Ceremony, everybody's watching. Speeches, everybody's watching. Introductions, everybody's watching. So yeah, once we get through that and everyone's just kind of like, I'm going to go here, do this, whatever.
Then everybody's listening and enjoying.
Yeah.
That's the party. And let's face it, a lot of people aren't listening. They're just focused on what they want to hear, and they're coming up wanting to hear their songs. But
if
yeah,
you're ever at
it
a wedding,
be.
we do. And we say an announcement and we repeat it a second time. There is a purpose for that. We're not crazy.
Yeah.
We didn't lose our memory. We don't have like weird like amnesia and we are like having to say the same thing over and over again. It's because it's like we say something, everybody, welcome, find your seats at this time. And then once we've said that, they're all like, there's noise coming from that direction. Should I be listening? And then by the time we're saying it the second time, that's when they're actually
Turns
listening.
out, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I should. They're giving me some info that I probably needed to know.
Even then, sometimes they don't even notice.
No.
Got to go a
They
third
ignore
and
it.
fourth.
They ignore it. But, that's what it is. Yeah, I don't have anything else. This has been a fun one.
Yeah, it's been good. Happy to be back.
Yes.
Busy weekend. I got 3. What are you looking at?
Oh, this weekend, I've got 2.
2?
Yeah. Oh, I probably will help Jeff on Sunday with the tasting.
Nice. Yeah.
So maybe 3.
Cool.
We'll see.
Yeah, big triple.
Yeah, this has, of course, been the DJ Insider Podcast. We appreciate you listening. I'm Mike.
I'm Chris.
And we will see you on the dance floor.